Let's get up on our shoulders, please.
In rescue incidents, accessing the patients and freeing them from the vehicle is your ultimate goal. However, in crash situations, the vehicle structure is damaged, causing the occupants to be trapped in life-threatening positions. As a responder, you need to know how to gain access to patients quickly and efficiently, as well as how to free them without causing further injury. The demonstrations in this program will help you to identify entrapment problems and show you how to implement procedures to overcome them. In this program, the training objectives are to show how to access a patient, to demonstrate battery access, to demonstrate opening a jammed trunk, to show windshield removal, and to demonstrate creating interior space. If occupants are trapped and injured inside a vehicle, it is your responsibility to find or create an opening so you can reach them. This is called the patient access stage. Patients must be reached quickly to determine the extent of their injuries. You need to create at least one pathway that will allow medical personnel to make initial patient contact. You must also ensure proper stabilization has been established before entering the vehicle.
Stabilization on the gray vehicle is 100%. Got it. Thanks.
In some situations, damage from the crash may provide an opening to reach the patient, such as a broken window or windshield, or doors may still be open normally. If you cannot find a readily available or existing opening, you will need to create one. Always prepare the patient before attempting access. Use sharps protection and cover glass shards or remove broken glass before entering the vehicle to make contact. When attempting to access the patient, first attempt to open all the doors despite their outward appearance. If the doors will not open manually, removal of the rear window, side windows, T-top, or glass sunroof will be necessary to provide a point of entry.
Breaking glass.
If any of these options still do not provide a large enough opening for a responder to climb through, your next option is to cut all sides of the windshield for total removal.
Glass is clear.
Complete windshield removal can provide quick access to your patient if no other options exist. After a crash, the hood may be jammed, preventing easy access to the engine compartment. While one crew member is attempting to access the patient, they should also confirm that the ignition is off and headlights are switched to the off position. Meanwhile, the second rescuer should assess the vehicle's hood to shut down the vehicle's electrical system. One option is to pry the hood up with a hydraulic spreader to access the hinges. Insert the tips of the spreader near the latch mechanism and operate the tool until the latch pops or a large enough space is cleared to attack the latch with hydraulic cutters. Another option is to pry the hood at the hinges and then attack the hinges with a cutter. Leave the hood attached at the latch and bend it forward to reveal the engine compartment. This technique is very effective on modern-day vehicles with a lighter construction makeup. Once you gain access to the engine compartment, locate the 12-volt to disconnect the vehicle's electrical system. If you cannot find the 12-volt, look for screw posts labeled plus and minus for jumper cable connection points. This means the 12-volt is located either in the fender, wheel well, rear seat, or trunk. Cables attached to the 12-volt run through the inner fender to remote jumper terminal screw posts in the engine compartment. If the 12-volt is not under the hood, the next most common location is in the trunk. The electrical shutdown for a 12-volt in a second location can take place at the remote terminals under the hood. Be sure to initiate hazard control activities if physical damage to the 12-volt has caused safety concerns, such as acid or fluid spills, fumes, open arcs, or fire risks. Once you have gained access and located the 12-volt, prepare for shutdown. Disconnect or cut the negative battery cable first. Do not touch any metal part of the chassis with the cable or hand tool. If you choose to disconnect the cable at the battery terminal, be sure to fold the loose cable end back into itself, and then securely wrap the end with insulating material to prevent the bare cable clamps from re-establishing a connection. If you have to cut the negative battery cable, cut the same cable a second time to create a gap in the connection line so the current cannot accidentally re-establish itself. Disconnecting a 12-volt can be dangerous, even when the engine is turned off. Arcs can be created. Electrical currents are always running from the battery, and flammable gas can leak into the battery area during discharge. It is important for you to take note of these safety hazards when working on a vehicle. Assess the vehicle for evidence that power from the battery is still reaching any part of the electrical system. Check for still operating exterior lights, dome lights, etc. This will help indicate if power shutdown was successful. In the event of a major crash, make sure the 12-volt has not been penetrated by a metal part that could re-establish an electrical circuit. In a vehicle with more than one 12-volt, the batteries can be side by side, or one may be located on the opposite side of the engine compartment from the first battery, connected by a second positive or hot cable to the first battery. Follow both red wires to the source to see if the second hot cable leads to another location. If so, repeat the previously discussed steps to disable the second 12-volt as well.
Power's down, let's access the trunk, make sure there's nothing in there.
Whenever you are working on a crashed vehicle, despite its initial outward appearance, you must always determine the contents inside the trunk. A person may be trapped inside, or potential hazards may exist, such as fluid spills or additional batteries. To access the trunk, first attempt to open it with a key. If the trunk will not open with the key, you will need to force it open. One method you can use is the Halligan bar in the keyhole. Place the pointed end of the Halligan on the lock and strike the head of the tool with a sledgehammer or flat end of an axe. This will drive the key cylinder in and create a hole. Take a flat-bladed screwdriver and insert it into a slot at the inner latch. Make a quarter turn clockwise, and the trunk should unlock. Another method of opening a jam trunk is with a pinch and curl technique. A great tool to accomplish this task is a hydraulic spreader. Place the hydraulic spreader slightly opened so that the trunk lid is between the open tips. Then close the tips to pinch the trunk lid. Once you have a good bite on the vehicle, lift and rotate the tool upward, forcing the lip of the trunk lid to bend away from the body of the vehicle. Reposition the spreaders so that the tips are between the body of the vehicle and the trunk lid. Then, spread the tool to force the lid away from the bumper of the vehicle until it opens. In some situations, you may not be able to gain access to the patient or the vehicle unless you remove the windshield. Windshields are made of laminated safety glass, which means they are designed not to shatter. Any attempt to break the glass to gain access using a center punch or other puncturing tool will only result in a small surface mark or hole. To remove laminated safety glass, you can cut or saw the windshield free. The best tools to cut with are usually a windshield saw, axe, or electric reciprocating saw with a wood cutting blade. First, make a small purchase hole near the lower corner of the glass with a Halligan or other striking device. Then, make a horizontal cut along the bottom of the glass as close to the dashboard as possible. Next, cut along the two sides of the windshield. Finish with a fourth cut along the top of the windshield. Another rescue worker should brace the windshield during the cutting to prevent it from falling into the vehicle. When all 4 cuts are complete, remove the windshield and place it in the debris pile. If you will be removing the roof along with the windshield, you only need to make a single cut along the bottom of the windshield. You will then remove the roof with the windshield still attached. If the rear window is laminated glass, think of it as a second windshield. Whatever tool or technique is used for windshield removal will work for total rear window removal as well. You may also need to create additional interior space around your patient for EMS personnel to gain and maintain patient access. The crew member assigned to the interior of the vehicle must evaluate procedural needs after patient contact is made and during medical size-up. If access to the patient on the inside of the vehicle is limited, or the medical responder is having difficulty maneuvering, you will need to create more space for him to work. To enlarge a window opening, use a tool such as a hydraulic spreader. Place one tip on the bottom of the window and the other at the roof line. Open the tool to spread the window, repositioning it if necessary. If you need to create more space near the center of the vehicle, use a hydraulic ram. Place the bottom of the ram at the center of the vehicle behind the front passenger compartment. Always crib under the vehicle at the same location that the ram is making contact. Once cribbing is in place, operate the ram until the roof pushes up and away from the occupants. Knowing how to gain access and successfully remove a patient from a vehicle quickly is a fundamental part of the extrication process. In this program, you have seen how to access a patient,
Look forward, okay? Keep your head still.
Okay.
All right.
access a battery, open a jammed trunk, remove a windshield, and create interior space. Armed with knowledge and skills, you can implement these basic vehicle extrication procedures to help gain access to your patient while ensuring that the scene is safe for everyone around you.
1, 2, 3.